So we have confirmed the 1-0 opening to that series, but now we are on our regularly scheduled feature series between Wittawili on the Radiant side, Logical, Noah, Camel Farmer Roughneck, and Nintendog in real life, who I believe is the Silly Snail, taking on Chambers of Nova, which is, again, Jim, aka Rook, aka Salacious Sea Lion 62, aka Salvating Salamander 37, aka Strawberry Shark, Andy Bendy, Seth Scroomlight, and Keelan, who I believe is tagged up as Dull Scythe. So should be a fun series there. We got a lot of bands, a lot of picks. Looking at bands right now: Disruptor, Doombringer, Hoodwink, Furion, Timbersaw, Slardar, Sniper, Bounty Hunter, Chen, Io, Omni, Centaur, Nightstalker, 8-pick Shadow Demon into 9 Kunkka, 13 Dark Willow into 14-15 Clock Zeus into 16-17 Venge Ember into 18 Lifestealer. For meta reasons, I'm definitely leaning towards this Radiant side draft, but I think you look at these dire side heroes, and much as we saw in game number 1, where Cuban Extracted Team had the heroes that they like to play, it certainly can lead to success. And again, having played 2 seasons with Jim, this is a Jim draft right here. This is the exact kind of draft that Jim would want. We are leaning towards a likely Ember safe lane, by the way, which, if it ends up occurring, will be a very interesting thing. Perhaps it'll be, again, Andy, Jim in that lane, Andy carry, Ember, Jim support, Venge. Last pick from Big Dodgical will end up being that Dragon Knight. Who calls the Dragon Knight? Answer is Logical Dota 2. Lads Plus Season 2 winner, Lads Season 14 Grand Finalist, Logical. And here we go. The response is Morphling, so it is not the Ember carry. It'll be that Morph carry. Andy preferred the matchup with the Morph instead, giving Sev his mid-Ember. And that's going to be one of the powerful parts of this lineup this season. Is there's a lot of weird flexes they've got. Ember Spirit will be one of the big ones between Sev, the middle laner, and Andy Bendy, aka Froggy2 Demon Dog, the carry player. But for now, again, that last pick Morphling, a little bit too hard to pass up. It's a great Morphling game. Outside of the Shadow Demon, it's pretty good matchups all around. There is some potential for things to go very wrong if the lane bottom goes... Correction, the lane top goes very badly. Because that's where Morphling will be, is top. And it certainly could snowball out of control if Zeus is really balling and Morph really struggling, because, you know, Zeus likes to play and just zap people from infinite range, and Morph likes to play on low HP, so that could certainly go badly. But man, given a Morphling player the caliber of Andy Bendy, I believe it should be fine. We do have Artorias in the chat, taunting me, as per usual. Going to pour a little more water. Going to mute my mic temporarily, actually, to pour some water. Sorry about that. I did not mute the mic earlier, which I do regret doing, but this time we got it. But we do have game number 1 on our hands. Greetings and salutations for game number 1 of Chambers of Nova versus Wittawili. I did not get my greetings and salutations in for this series, but it's there now. We are, again, into the game. We're smoked up on both teams as 5. Looking at Salivating Salamander, aka Jim, he's leading the way with his team's smoke right now. He's got that Venge Arcana. The Silly Snail pops and breaks both teams' smokes. Clock walks forward, walks away. Bramble Maze will miss everything, but it zones away. Look at the zoning potential. Sev walks in, but does Sev want to be in this fight at the angle he's got right now? He's banished by Noah. Bug Grenade onto Clockwork, that he's out running forward. He's stunned by the Venge. And again, a Dragon Tail stun on Ember. Ember to fall. Sev perhaps a little bit too bold, a little bit too brazen, certainly gets punished. And there was some friendly all-chatting in the all-chat, but at this point, Sev, who said it was an honor to play with Roughneck, has already died to Roughneck. We see a little bit of OSRS referencing in the Twitch chat. And you see a Noah, who is also an OSRS player, to my best of my knowledge, saying solo CM speedrunning for G2. And as far as I know, Sev, despite being a pretty seasoned solo normal Chambers gamer, doesn't have that many reps on solo challenge Chambers, so one would assume that Noah's at the major advantage there. So if you were to do the 5-on-5, though, you give the big advantage to, of course, to Chambers of Nova. All 5 players on this dire side do play OSRS, so quantity over quality there. I mean, I would love to see somebody like Roughneck or someone like Logical popped into a CM Chambers, see how they do on Vanguards. Then again, Vanguards is quite tough. Maybe Jim would brick that one as well. Bottom lane, Torrent on 2 allows Scroomlight to get away. We see a lot of emphasis on the pole camp right now for Jim. For those who don't know, Salamander is Jim. I'll be calling him Jim all night. He made sure this was unblocked in the small camp. Made sure the hard camp was body blocked. Again, being the best support player in the league, he is certainly knowledgeable about the ins and outs of equilibrium in the lane, and as well, he's got a lot of emphasis on the pulling and the blocking of poles here. He's got that small camp pull as an option for whenever. For now, he's just trying to keep Mr. Andy Bendy A-okay. How that'll go, nobody knows. And we see Jukes from Logical bottom lane. Staying alive there, getting away from those bramble mazes. He has not skilled Rage yet, which is, you know, pretty standard for last other players. You see a lot of 0-1-1, and again, Logical, of course, up to date on his meta builds, of course. He, perhaps more than any other player in the league, has a very strong pulse on the meta, given he's usually, you know, ahead of the meta here. I'm going to have to ask Keelan, aka your waifu is shit, why he's tagged up as your waifu is shit. I don't quite know why the name is what it is, but I can surely message him at some point, like, yo, what are you doing, and why are you doing it? We're seeing a lot of emphasis on range creeps, of course, in both of these side lanes. You saw it top, a lot of spells being thrown to secure the range creeps. You saw it bottom as well. The coordinated 2-man deny from Keelan and Scroom just to deny Logical's creep there. So, again, it is very standard high-level Dota play for laning, but I do find it important to point these things out on occasion, because you never know who's watching, what level of Dota you're accustomed to and familiar with. I know a lot of times with the lads' viewership, it tends to trend higher rather than lower, but you never know sometimes who's going to pop on in for some Dota 2. Some of the finest in amateur North American Dota 2 action in lads. Looking over at CS, nothing too crazy yet, but one thing to note is Logical is absolutely blasting Scroom right now in this bottom lane. There is a large MMR discrepancy in both side lanes, especially core-wise. Logical has a lot on Scroom, but Andy Bendy also has a decent bit on Roughneck. Logical's running forward, looking for Scroom again, but turns back for the creeps. Ended up missing, I think, 2 or 3 lasts, at least 2 lasts from doing that, so Logical was pretty confident in this fight concept, and he's committing again for Scroom. Blood Grenade forward. Cogs are available, knocking away Scroom. But Silly Snail cannot get the battery assault angle. It's a winning trade, but no kill for Logical and Snail. And again, this is I know there are a lot of very good safe lane duos in the league this season. Perhaps the most scary one will be this one here, Salivating Salamander and Froggy Q Demon Dog, aka Andy and Jim. They are the brothers, and they certainly have laned together to great success before. It's a very powerful concept there, very well coordinated on the lane. And for those who are not well versed with the two, Jim has a decent bit of pro Dota experience. Andy Bendy, not a pro Dota player, but a former pro League of Legends player. The two certainly view the game on a pretty high level, and again, with coordination, they're able to coordinate very well in these lanes. And the laning phase is beginning to break up a little bit. We're seeing a little more emphasis on these runes. Again, some wards and D-wards for this this minute 6 rune. So perhaps there's a fight in the river brewing. Speaking of fights, there's one erupting bottom lane. It's Silly Snail inside his own cogs looking for Keelan. Keelan walks away. The root does hit once, but it's time to turn your attention to this top rune. Sev is there. It will spawn bottom. A big win for Camel Farmer. RNG in a skill-based game. He wins the 1 and 2. And it was even, again, Jim made the right play there, but the expected value is favorable for Sev thanks to that rotation. But sometimes, again, luck is better than skill, and Camel, we got a little bit lucky on that one. He got rewarded for his luck. Looking at net worth, number 1 net worth is Camel Farmer. Camel did get that first blood money, which is the big reason why he's number 1 in net worth. He hasn't really won the middle lane all that much if you're looking at CS, but again, if you're looking at that first blood money, that's what really propels him from what was a relatively minor creep stats lead into a major net worth lead. Bottom Wisdom Rune, it seems like Silly Snail will secure it. Keelan and Jim are both there, but it is secured by the Clockwork. A big win. Jim even rotated to secure the rune, but again, Clockwork, a crafty fellow, secures that one. And on the south side, we see, it's more of the west side. On the west side, Noah on the Shadow Demon secures the other Wisdom Rune. So again, double Wisdom Rune. Jim certainly will not be happy about that one. I know he puts a lot of emphasis on the Wisdom Runes, and to not get either is not what he wanted. We saw it in the last game, the game 1 of Cuban versus Frauds. Cuban getting both of the runes. We saw Reed getting the one here, a big outplay from Reed to this one, and then Shane grabbing the other one. That really allowed the Cuban team to take what was a blossoming lead and really hammer it on down. They had key abilities for that like minute 10 or so mid fight they would not have on the double wisdom rune, so we'll perhaps see if Noah and Silly Snail can use that momentum from getting double rune to really take some big fights here. Again, look at support levels. Shadow Demon level 5, Clockwork level 5, Dark Widow just got level 4, and Venge also level 4, so a full level of Venge, if not slightly more than that, for supports on the Radiant side. Noah is looking for some stacks, solo stacking and clearing it on SD, but at this point he needs to be a little bit careful. He'll end up just killing that sentry ward. And again, he'll look to use more poisons. He has enough mana for, I believe, 5 poisons right now. I don't quite know if it's enough to grab the stacks, though, is the problem. He's dragging it away. I'm not a real big expert on the ins and outs of SD stack farming. They brought in the DK as well. Jim, of course, aware of what's going on, and with the ward, pings things out. Sev's on the rotation. He's got 3 remnants ready to go. He'll pop the shield rune. Good 2-man slight chance. Remnant forward. Noah will banish Sev, but he'll still end up dying. Roughneck, a little harder of a nut to crack, will still look to fight. Camel's on the rotation. Sev is still shielded. TP in by the Clockwork. He's still level 5, not quite 60 yet. Roughneck is on the run, gets stunned by Jim, but Jim will end up dying to that Breathe Fire. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 support trade. Stack still remains alive, kind of. There's, I believe, 5 creeps out of 9, including all the large creeps, still in that camp. bottom lane, Logical is bullying the hell out of Scroomlight right now. He's level 7 with Phase, nearly a full armlet. Is that armlet on career for Logical? It is. So full armlet for Logical. He's bullying this Kunkka right now, trying to prevent him from getting that 6. Meanwhile, top lane, Roughneck gets bullied away a little bit by Andy Bendy. Back to bottom lane, Logical has 1 point in Rage, 3 points in Feast, 2 points in Ghoul Frenzy, holding a skill point, perhaps looking for that infest angle at level 7, depending on how the fight breaks out. Noah rotates in as well. He'll use Poison on Scroomlight, Banishment to follow. Keelan still backs Scroom up, Blood Grenade forward, Scroom the target once again. Logical holds the Rage. Now he raided thanks to that the Torrent being casted. Scroomlight's already dead. Andy TP's in, but now Keelan is dead. It's already 2 deaths. Slight chance in by Sev. It's big rotations from Chambers of Nova. They want to turn things around right now. Infest from Logical into Noah. Noah will give his life. Logical pops out, trying for a bit of a fight angle against the Morphling, but this one has to rage and run away. Clockwork TP's in, has Hookshot ready to go, but again, killing, while possible, killing this Morphling will be very difficult. Hookshot forward, Rocket Flare, but again, I believe Andy reacted in time, plus had that range up. He'll actually waveform forward for Clockwork, back to top lane. It's Roughneck on the 1v3 retreat. He's on the high ground towards that Twin Gate area, walks by Roshan's pit to the west side. X-Mark Torrent from Scroomlight. In comes Keelan with the Cursed Crown. Minus armor from Jim. Jim will give his life, but it should be worth it if the DK dies. DK is dead. Back to bottom lane. Andy could not secure the kill on Clockwork, which isn't all that surprising, but it is the result nonetheless. So across the map, again, a bit of a trade. I believe overall favorable for the side of Wittawili. Back to top lane, Banishment on Scroomlight. They're looking to bully this Kunkka. He's got spells ready to go. He'll Torrent and bolt before he dies. Did not get the wand off in time. Not that it would have saved his life. Only would delay the inevitable. And again, 3 stacks from Noah on to Keelan. He wants the Willow kill. 4 stack will miss, but the kill is secured nonetheless. Double kill for Noah on Shadow Demon. I just realized, feeling my throats, I went way too hard on game 1. I did not pace myself well, you know? I got real excited, thanks to Cupid Extractive Team, and I regret that now. Morphling has a morphed Lifestealer. He'll rage and waveform forward, but again, no kill on Clockwork. Over to top lane again, they want Scroomlight. It's non-stop bullying of Scroom in this game. They want to kill him. 3 stacks of poison from Noah. Camel is there. Hookshot forward by the silly snail. Torrents. He tried forward, but the battery's all canceling animation. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they want to go in for Logical. He's used the rage already. Infest is on cooldown. He got Armlet and Lotus ready to play with. Armlet toggle. Clockwork has Cogs. Zoning away Dire once again. Camel rotates in. He's got the full arsenal. This could be a huge disaster for the Dire side. Ulti is ready, but no! Camel and Noah miscoordinate. As a result, Morphling waveforms away, gets a ton of HP. The bench will die. Now Sev's here, but can Sev turn it around? It's a hard fight to play. Maybe they can kill somebody. Clockwork is low. Noah's half HP. Camel's a 3rd HP, but with 7 spells. He chains only 1. Remnant forward on Noah. He's got 1 remnant to play with. Everyone's so low. Noah is dead. Sev wants more, but where's the mana? He goes forward. He's got Slight. He kills Camel Farmer. A huge play from Sev. A double kill from Ember Spirit. The rotation from Sev salvages the fight, and now it's time for Roughneck to look for more. He breathe fires on Keelan. Keelan barely lives. Had there been a, I don't know, maybe a little more damage would have been a kill, but again, even with the 4th point in breathe fire, it's not quite enough damage for the kill. Whew, bit of a wild fight again. Wittawili are in the pole position right now, but it's still anyone's game to play. Especially when you have this Andy, Bendy, Morphling, and Sev playing such an active role right now. I love water. I do. So it's a smoke up by Jim. 2-man smoke gank. He chooses to pair with Scroomlight. Scroomlight has the full Kunkka arsenal ready to go. You see Dragon Knight, not the ideal target. Jim calls Scroom off, wants to wait patiently for a better target, perhaps Sev to arrive if they want to go on DK, but Roughneck, intentionally or not, will dodge that gank. He becomes the dragon, and now he's on creeps. And fine. So, looking around for items, we have some big pickups coming. A big one I want to highlight right now is that Radiance timing for Logical. He's on pace for having a Radiance pretty soon, about minute 18 to 19 on that Radiance timing. A decent Armlet Radiance timing, of course. We look at Zeus, and he's actually not going for a bit of a hybrid build. We've been seeing a lot of hybrid builds from the Zeus, you know, buying, say, a Phylactery and buying a Shard and mixing your right-click and your spell-based damage. Camel is going for a bit of a throwback. He is choosing a much more classical build on the Zeus. He's got a Kaya. He's going for, I believe that is a Lincoln's Sphere. Lincoln Sphere? I honestly don't entirely know what that builds out of. Lincoln Sphere? Yeah, it is Lincoln Sphere. I believe he's a recipe already purchased. If I'm correct about that one. Unless he's buying something really weird. In the river, it's Roughneck and the Stilly Snail looking to fight with Sev. He's swapped away by Jim, so good save from Jim. Hookshot misses from Stilly Snail. Yeah, after that Lincoln's ulti is dropped by Camel Farmer, they'll end up bringing down Avenge. Roughneck, of course, wants more, but again, with only an Orchid, there's not too much chase he could do by himself. But yeah, he'll end up buying an Aghanim Scepter and an Octarine Core after that on Zeus. So really a throwback build. Fully, you know, magical spell-oriented. Over to Morphling. Morph's in a lot of danger. He morphed into Lifestealer, popped the Rage, but he's just dead. He is simply dead. One more kill for Noah. It's 12 kills for Wittawili, and right now they are really clearing Chambers of Nova. So, again, it's getting harder and harder to play this game right now. There are some key... Oh, again, miscoordination from Wittawili, but Scroom... Wait a minute, is he actually alive? Again, the terrible coordination kept Scroom alive. The banishment from Noah saved Scroom from Roughneck's stun. That kept him alive there on the Kunkka, and now he can go in for the DK. The Kunkka salvo is thrown. The DK is stunned. He'll Orchid the Kunkka, but it matters not. A double kill. One for Sev, one for Andy Bendy. They'll move to Camel Farmer. Camel walks away. Sev will remnant forward. He's not getting this kill. He simply lacked the mana for the chains after he used that Sleight of Fist. Sev either didn't do the math or didn't care for the math. The kill was not secure regardless. And now the haste rune is secured by the Stilly Snail. Sev returns to the mid lane. T1 tower is brought down by Morphling. Waveform in. Hookshot. The counter response from Clockwork, but Clockwork is dead nonetheless. And now what was 12-6 kill wise turns into a 12-9 kill wise situation. A little bit. What does that even mean, Keelan? I don't know what you... What did he mean by this? A comma in response... That's my response. A comma symbol from the Silly Snail. I vibe with the comma response from the Silly Snail, but again... Certainly a better game state right now for Jim and company than it was a couple minutes ago. Look at this graph. Look at this graph. It was here at an 81% win chance for the Radiant side. It's now down to 66% chance. Notably lower than earlier. So if you believe the numbers are better. From what was about a 1 in 5 chance win to about a 1 in 3 chance. Bottom lane. Never mind, he's fine. Scroom thought about it. But ultimately, the counterplay was obvious. You simply use the rage and you walk away. The one bit of counterplay to the rage walk away play would have been an aggressive swap by Jim, but again, if you aggressively swap, then you have to time that really well, or else there's a TP away angle. Bottom lane, they're going in for Jim. Jim is incredibly dead. He'll offensively swap to get a little bit of barrier. It matters not. Again, miscoordination again from Wittawili. A bad sign there, coordination-wise, but a good sign fight result-wise. They kill 2 subs. They kill Jim and Keelan, and look, the parlay of that went into that bottom T2 tower. And now we return to looking at items. The aforementioned Radiance on Big Dodgical is finished. The Lincolns on Camel is finished. Noah has a Blink Dagger. Roughneck has Blink on Courier. Clockwork's about to have a Force Staff, also on Courier. Looking at dire items, we're not all that far from that Aghanim Scepter on Jim, and I like that choice. I talk with Jim a lot about Dota, and I'm sure he's heard me non-stop talk about how good Aghanims plus Aghanims is on Venge. Not that he has to really take my opinion anyways, because he's way better at not only Dota but Venge than me, but he knows I am all in on him buying Ags plus Ags. I have called items like Pavis and Glimmercape weenie items. Not Ags plus Ags, though. They'll go in for Jim. He's silenced, but he's still alive. Hookshot in, stuns Sev. Jim is still alive. Look for a bit of an offensive swap, perhaps. We cannot get it off in time. It's already dead Venge. Clockwork will end up being the counter kill. It's the 1-for-1 so far. Andy wants one more kill, looking for Camel. Camel's on the run. Sev remnants forward. Roughneck backs him up. Meanwhile, Noah brings down Keelan. Back to Andy Bendy. He's brought down in that tier 2 tower. Sev's still diving. He wants Camel. He needs to go, but he lacks spells. The errant dive is punished heavily. It's a 4-for-1. Big win for Wittawili. Look at this net worth change. Nearly a 3K swing. A lot of damage there from the Camel Farmer Zeus. Andy Bendy and Sev recognized that, tried to eliminate the Zeus from the teamfight apparatus, but again, Zeus was playing all the way there in the rear guard, and when you're playing in the rear guard, it's pretty hard to bring you down sometimes, and he just kept getting away. Tormentor is dead on the Radiant side. Free shard for Noah. That is the Demonic Cleanse, which actually might be pretty incredible this game. A lot of good stuff to purge. You know, a lot of Venge spells, a couple Kunkka spells, Ember spells, a lot of Willow spells. So it's a very good free shard to get. And notice that Noah recognized the power of the shard. He had it in quick buy. He intended on buying it himself, but now he's free to buy more interesting items like the Aether Lens in his quick buy, and the Aether Lens into Ags. That's a very good SD build. Noah knows that, and he's prioritizing it. Top lane. Logical walked up slowly. Tried to go Andy Bendy. Now both TP away. Logical to bot lane. Andy Bendy to Shrine Camp. It's a bit of a farm race between these big 4 cores. As it currently stands, though, particularly in the carry column, Logical's winning that fight. He's 14k net worth versus Andy Bendy's 11.5k. Again, Logical being ahead the way he is certainly helps his game. The fight is brewing mid lane. They're going in for Andy Bendy. He's strength morphed in time. He's trying to stay alive. He's silenced. He's fighting, and he's simply dead. The trade is for Camel Farms. Both teams missing a key core. Swap in by Jim. Put SD towards the Ember, but they couldn't lock him down. It's a dead Dark Willow, so it's a 2-for-1. Roughneck's fighting. Sev Reverence away. Logical's still running forward. X mark from Scroom. Torrent to follow. Kites around the Lifestealer. But the result is the same. It's a win for the side of Wittawili. A third kill goes the way of Roughneck. 1, 2, 3 different heroes in the fight for the Radiant side, and again, the net worth lead extends. Look at the graph again. The green line isn't skyrocketing, but the net worth and experience ones certainly are. We're back to that around 80% win chance for the Radiant side. Logical and company certainly happy with that one. They also don't have the numbers that we have graph-wise, but they are humans, they have eyes and they have ears, and they are capable of feeling the rhythm of the game. They know they're winning right now, and conversely, you look at this Dire side, this Chambers of Nova side, they know they're losing, and you see aggressive farming, trying to get whatever they can. Now, knowing there's heroes bottom, they're hunting for supports. Clockwork and SD are mid lane. Dust was used, I believe, by Jim. SD ended up blinking away. Clockwork tried for hook shot to these neutrals, missed it, and ended up dying. Back to the river, Jim has been stunned by Roughneck, orchestrated as well. Venge is incredibly low. Perhaps both Venge and SD will die, but Venge has the Ags. Noah is dead. Jim is still fighting. Logical is looking for Kunkka. Kunkka is incredibly low. Kunkka is dead. Now, the Venge illusion is still fighting. Andy Bendy looks for Camel Farmer. Seb's hunting as well. The Roughneck stun prevents Slight Chains. Orchid the Fall again is cutting around the Ember. Logical rotates over. Slight Chains on 2. Logical rages, and Andy Bendy's blasted! He could not strike more fast enough, and now Seb tries to remnant, tries to stay alive, but no. Logical says no. A triple kill for the Lifestealer. A 4 for 2 in favor of the side of Wittawili, and look at the damage numbers from Logical Dote. They're massive. We saw in earlier fights, it was Camel Farmer putting in the damage. Rightfully, Chambers of Nova tried to ensure Camel could not get his spells off in the fight, but when you remove one cord, another one pops up. It's whack-a-mole, but at this point, between the three-headed whack-a-mole monster of Logical, Roughneck, and Camel Farmer, there's just too much damage. Over in the Dire side jungle, Jim has been caught. He was looking for the D-ward, and he succeeded in getting the D-ward, but it cost him his life. It will be a D-ward for D-ward trade, for what that's worth, so both teams are a little low on vision. There's currently, I believe, only one ward on the map, being this ward placed, I believe, by Jim. Yeah, the one at the Dire side track camp. So, again, there could be some more wards in the near future. Noah has one. He'll perhaps put on the, yep, puts it right in the Twin Gate to secure this topside Roshan, the first Roshan of the game, first Roshan of the series, though 5th Roshan of the stream. There were 4 Roshans in game 1 of the Cube of Frauds game, so not our first bit of Roshan action today. Roughneck will TP bottom, looking to perhaps set up, but Dire have the scan. They'll be well aware. As a result, Andy Bendy will back off accordingly. Roshan falls, Aegis to Logical. Now Logical TP's mid. Logical, of course, a very strong macro game player, knows that it's time to push in the waves. I'm sure his team is also aware of that one. Top lane, again, Jim's in a little bit of danger, but I don't think Jim really cares. He's avenged with an Ag. If he dies, he's still playing Dota 2. There's 4 stacks of poison, and the ulti from Camel secures the kill, but again, Jim's still playing Dota 2. He's got the swap, he's got the stuns, and we're seeing pings toward the Dire Tormentor. Jim wants to get a free shard. He's got shard and quickbind. It'll either be the shard on Willow, which is a pretty good shard, or the shard on Venge, which is a fantastic shard, so no real losing, but the winning shard RNG, of course, would be the shard secure for Venge, but the positioning is split. We see Sev looking to perhaps push in mid, Andy Bandy off map looking to push in bottom, and Scroom will look to D-push once there's heroes at this area here. The wave's now here, looking to go towards high ground. The high ground could be serious. There is a potential high ground angle here. Jim now respawns. He might immediately die once again. He'll swap aggressively. Now he's back. He's being focused. Both of the lives on Vendor lost, but he buys back. He's once again in the fight. He's playing more Dota 2. He wants the positioning. He stuns Logical. Logical might lose 1 life. Torrent up, brought down. Remnant in by Seth. Looking more by Andy Bendu. Shot in by Clockstone. Like a huge ulti. A terrorize from Keelan. Roughneck to fall. And Radiant are running out HP on a lot of heroes. Jim dies for the 4th time. So he swaps in Shadow Demon. Radiant trying to smoke. Keelan is dead. Noah's so low. Noah is dead. Logical. He's got open wounds. He's fighting in the Dire base. But his team lacks a lot of resources. He needs to retreat. The will is there, but the ability to fight longer is not. Or perhaps it is. He's still here. He's half HP. He's looking to toggle. He's looking to heal open wounds. Jim's got swap in 15. If Logical minds his cooldowns, he knows it's not available, so it will be a relatively clean retreat, it appears, unless Sev can change that one. He's got only one remnant, though. Again, Logical's team calls for a bit of a double back. Hook shot forward onto the Ember. Ember's half HP, but a swap from Jim. A fantastic play from our man Salacious. Sea Lion 62, saving his middle laner. Textbook bench gameplay, taking a page out of the legendary eHome 820. So at this point, again, one more lost fight, but the game state, despite being bad, is not a complete disaster. If you look at the situation, there are no high ground structures that have fallen. Top racks are alive, mid racks are alive, bot racks are alive, all the towers are alive as well, T3-wise. And there's even this bottom tier 2 tower, which again can help secure this dire side Tormentor if that's the play they want. We'll see a 3-man smoke from Scroom and both supports, sweeping southeast towards Andy Bendy. Andy Bendy is playing on very low HP, though. He needs to be careful. Zeus does not have the Ags quite yet, or else it would be a potential kill, even. As of now, Dragonet plays the area. Dire Smoke cast pop. The Blink reaction is fantastic. Roughneck, despite being around 4 very angry, very willing Dire combatants, wants nothing to do with the fight. He blinks away, and that blink will certainly save his life. He's got no BKB. It's Blink and Manta as the defensive tools, and, well, apparently that's good enough. Boy, oh boy, guess what time it is? It's farming time. If you like farming, oh boy, it's time for more of it. The big objective that both teams are aware of course, is our good friend Roshan. Problem is, he's dead. And will be for at least 3.5 minutes, potentially 6.5 minutes, on average 5 minutes, so... Oh, Zeus ulti, oh no! Tormentor is being gone on by the 3. It cost a lot of HP, though. So you lost... Oh, this is an absolute disaster. So Sev was going on top lane. During the Tormentor take, Zeus ulti killed the Dark Willow, which made Tormentor harder. Therefore, Jim died to the neutral. As all that happens, Radiant jumps top lane to bring down Sev. That's 3 kills. Sure, you got the shard on Keelan, but what a disastrous Tormentor for the side of Timber Nova. Hookshot splits the wickets. Live it off on all the targets from the Silly Snail. T3 tower is dead, and again, knowing that there's so many dead heroes, the time is now to strike. Open wounds on Jim. Jim will swap Logical. The illusion is dead. Real one's alive in 10. Wait for him away by Andy Bendy. Boats will miss from Scroomlight. Racks are half HP. Tidal Wave on 3, but again, they need to buy time for Sev. It's hard to fight without him. Clockwork is low. Clockwork will end up eventually going down, but it costs a waveform forward by Andy Bendy. He's time for the Orchid of Roughneck. Logical's hitting. Logical's doing so much damage. He turns to Scroom. He turns to Keelan. They both get blasted, and he moves to Jim. Jim is dead. A double kill for Logical, and they'll kill the Venjag's illusion as well. The top racks are dead, and we're headed for a second set middle lane. And again, we know what's going to happen. Dire lack the biomax, therefore they will lack some base. Range racks to fall, melee racks not far behind. The T2 bottom will prevent the megas. Now Sev and Andy Bendy look to fight. Noah has Limerick Cape. Silence on to Sev. Sev gets blasted again. The ulti was unleashed by Camel Farmer. And now they'll move to Andy Bendy, who simply lacked the tools to escape. As a result, the GG is called. Game 1 goes to Wittawili in dominant fashion. Logical starts off his new season on fantastic form. So what that means now is, should probably look at the results across the league, because there are a lot of series going on across the league right now. We got to do an around the league a catch up because there's a lot going on. A lot of things to update you on with the 6 current active series. I just need to tell the teams who has flip here. It's gonna be Chambers, Chambers of Noble of choice for game number 2. But around the league for our 6 series Sunday, if you're a fan of alliteration. So as we saw, Cuban Extracted team beat Frauds 2 in game number 1. They're still playing game number 2. Clowns and Tiananmen Square Deniers have already finished their series. They went 1-1 already. It's a very fast 1-1 series. Tiananmen Square won game 1 in 33 minutes, and Clowns won game 2 in 41. So that one's already over. Looking at game 2, seems like Clowns played a pretty tight game where they were losing a lot of it, but they made apparently a great late game maneuver to grasp victory from the jaws of defeat, and as a result, I'm gonna have to go back to the lobby and manually flip for the teams. It'll be first pick Dire for the side of Chambers of Nova, Radiant chosen by Big Logical. Back to our around the league view. In the series between dads I would like to frolic with and Royal Star, it's the frolicking dads who get a fantastic game 1 win over Royal Star. Royal Star did not get the start to their season they would have hoped for. They dropped game 1. Seems like it was a rough game for Madior. 11 deaths on Bloodseeker, but of course I'm not fully privy to that one. That was a 53-minute game that appeared to be a real back and forth late game affair. A lot of epic late game action there. Again, across the league further. Oh, I have to go start this game here because there's just stuff happening right now. It's everywhere. Gotta go do my GLHF. Make sure my settings are correct, of course. And then we start this game. Back to our Around the League recap. We've got somebody marked a best of 7 for their series. Are they on drugs? Not important. Back to the other series. It seems like Eternal King's Air Power Game 1 is still active. If you look at the main menu, you can see if Skater's on main menu. Where's Skater? So he's still in game 1, apparently. Game 1 has not yet finished. A typical NA versus Blucher. Their game 1 went the way of Blucher. So, again, that's typical NA being the Rusi Brightside stack. They dropped game 1 to Blucher in 38 minutes. Seems like Rice Boy and Bunions popped off in game number 1. Bunions in particular, 17 kills on Nyx Assassin. They're actively embroiled in their game number 2. So that's our Around the League recap. I'll have some more for you when I've got some more. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to cut to a quick break. Gonna grab a little bit of water, gonna make a quick trip to the bathroom, and you get the nice little sultry sounds of the draft here, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team picked. 10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Shadow Demon. 10 seconds remaining. 5
seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Pudge.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Radiant team pick. Zeus. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds Dire remaining. Team pick. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Void incarnate.
10 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Riki.
Greetings and salutations for the second and final game of this two-game series between Chambers of Nova, who got vanquished in game number 1, who are taking on Wittawili, who of course
10 seconds
took
remaining.
game 1 in the pretty dominant fashion.
5 seconds.
We are very deep into the game 2 draft between grabbing some water and going to the bathroom. Got a little bit distracted, and
Admiral Kung
oh, the draft's done. It's already done. So, some interesting picks here. We again, we're gonna see a very similar draft for the side of Wittawili. For Chambers of Nova, they mix it up entirely. It'll be offlane Core Pudge for Scroomlights, Shaman for Keelan, Pugna support for Jim, mid voice beard for Sev, and Andy Bendy on a carry Ricky. For Wittawili, it'll be an interesting IO Zeus pairing between him and Soy Snail and Logical. Again, more Logical picking Zeus, but this time it'll be him playing Zeus. Noah will reprise his role on Shadow Demon. Roughneck again plays a very similar hero to that DK in the Centaur War Runner, and Campbell Farmer will snag the Kunkka with a 24 pick. So more Kunkka, but a different role and a different player on a different team this time. One last around the league check. Make sure there's nothing more definitive. It's been found. Yeah, no other definitive game results yet. I'll keep you posted when I after the game, and I guess once that happens. But if you are just joining us, time 30-second, and never mind. Hold that intro. I'll do it after the that. Very small pause. We're already back. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2 of our 2-game group stage brawl between Wittawili, with victors of game 1, and Chambers of Nova, the team that looked to make it into a 1-1 draw. There's been a lot of 1-1 draws this season, and of course, Andy Bendy and company want one for themselves. Once again, 5-man smoke from both teams. Both teams have warded Radiant Jungle. Dire a bit deeper than the Radiant side. We're seeing some pings. Again, it's a Watcher taken back, and now at this point, alarm bells are ringing like, yeah, their Watcher got taken back. They have to be here right now. And again, Froggy 2 Demon Dog is holding the high ground. So
30 seconds.
they're in good position to grab this this rune. And the ward is fantastic. Now sees Sev. But the only problem is it's on the low ground, and they're just playing high ground. Looking at Radiant Vision, they're playing somewhat blind enough. Some idea thanks to this ward, and they'll go in for the Shaman and Pudge. Banishment from Noah. In come the reinforcement for the Dire side, but the hook is blocked! The hook is blocked! Miscoordination. Keelan tanks the hook from Scroomlights. As a result, there will be no kill, barring another hook attempt landing. It will be 3 runes to 1, so again, a win for Chambers of Nova, but they wanted a bigger win than what they got. We see some blocking from Jim, perhaps double blocking potentially, but it will, look at the equilibrium. Logical is counter blocking, but it should still be under this tower. It'll be under this tower. Oh, Logical Helmets! Oh, never mind. That would have been so good for Logical. He'll end up aggroing it, but it's still an awkward equilibrium situation for the Zeus. It's like your last hit anyways. And look at the other last hit. Despite Jim's best effort, Logical goes 4 for 4 on last hits, so it's as if the blocking never happened. The equilibrium will be incredibly screwed thanks to that, though. Look at the equilibrium now. It's over here. Instead of, say, usually it's around this area, it's over here instead right now. He'll aggro it back, but that is Dota 2 brewing right now. Bottom lane we'll look away from to look over at mid lane. It's Kunkka versus Void Spirit. That lane seems, it's relatively boring. I believe Kunkka might slightly win it. Camel did have that counter pick, so if nothing else, Camel is confident in the matchup. Over to top lane, it's Centaur and Shadow Demon taking on Pugna and Ricky. And Ricky, of course, will want to get level 6 for the permanent invis and that agility damage multiplier on the backstab. So that'll be the big thing that that Andy Bandy wants, is that level 6, of course. Well, there are some carries where level 6 is like, you know what, cool. We like it, but it's not a huge deal. Other carry, level 6, it is utterly and completely essential to their gameplay. Ricky certainly is in the latter camp. Someone like Gyro, for example, probably more in the former camp. Again, we are already mostly looking between the 2 side lanes. I suspect the bottom lane will be the more interesting of the 2, though. Hodge Hook will be the X factor. If used well, could be huge, but again, you're playing into Io Zeus. Not the easiest heroes to go on. If you get the Io, he can still tether away. If you get the Zeus, he's got the jump and the Io heal, so it's going to require some outplays by Scroom and Keelan. And the problem is, you're asking Scroom and Keelan, 2 5k players, if that, to outplay Logical Dota 2, who is one of like the 3 or 4 best players in LADs, perhaps the best player in LADs. So it's a hard ask to make for Chambers of Nova. Shackles from Keelan to little effect. Top lane, banishment from Noah. But again, Nothing too crazy. So, one thing that I love about Lad sometimes, he has some really interesting team names. On the Radiant side, it's Wittawili. On the Dire side, it's Chambers of Nova. And I can explain to you both of these names. Bottom lane, we will see our first blood, though. Scroomlight with a big hook securing the first blood. So again, I mentioned it was hard to do, but it was the outplay from Scroom and Keelan connecting and bringing down Silly Snail. But back to our topic of choice, team names. So Wittawili is referencing a meme, a logical, ask logical for context. He gave me an Instagram reel video of some pilots saying literally like Wittawili multiple times. Bottom lane again, Silly Snail is in danger. He'll be fine for now. Now Scroom is low. He'll get brought down by Logical. Keelan's looking to secure the kill. He's got level 2 Ether Shock, but he's being kited around by Shaman. Ankle's broken. In the back of Shaman will be broken very soon as well. Bolted down by Big Logical. A double kill for Logical himself. And back to the reference of the team name again. It's like an Instagram reel of like some pilot saying literally, like sort of like the Wittawili over and over again, pronouncing it like that. And apparently that became a some kind of meme that Logical, of course, being very into the meme scene, is up on, and me being very much not on the meme scene did not know about, but that is the origin of his team name. On the flip side, for Dire, it's Chambers of Nova, which is a double reference name. The Chambers of Hook. Oh, unfortunate hook again from Scroom. Not only split the wickets between the Io and the Zeus, but just hit it on Keelan instead. But Chambers of Nova is a double reference. The Chambers of part is a reference to the OSRS raid Chambers of Zarek. As all 5 of the Dire players are OSRS players, it shouldn't be all that much of a shock that we do see another OSRS reference. Again, we did see Andy and Jim when they played with me, Tint, and Artorias go with the Happy Herbivores, which again, another one of those OSRS references. But this time, again, it's all 5 players. Top lane, they're going in for Andy Bendy. He's got a huge amount to go on, though, so he should be final. Double blinking get away. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we see rotation from Jim. That's a hard rotation to connect on. He'll end up TPing mid instead, secure the rune. They'll go for the double damage rune. He'll deny it in time. Camel had the torrent, but Jim with the great game sense, great rotation, makes his mid laner's game a lot easier. But again, back to the reference. So we don't have the Chambers of prefix. The Nova part of the reference to Seb's dog, Nova, who I believe is in the team banner if I can find it yet. That is Nova. That is Seb's dog, who was a young puppy as of recently, but in sort of Sev and Sev adjacent circles, there have been many Nova picks posted. So people like myself and members in this Dire team have seen the growth of Nova the puppy. So we are seeing the Nova pick in the banner. And that is where the references come from. Courier. Nova's courier goes down to Andy. Andy will silence the Shadow Demon. He'll get the kill on the rune, I think. No, he does not get the rune, but he does get the kill. So Noah outclicked Andy Bendy. Andy Bendy still gets that solo kill. It is a 1-to-1 Wisdom Rune situation. The other one secured by Keelan. Both Jim and Keelan were there. Had both runes gone the way of Chambers of Nova, that would have been absolutely fantastic. But a kill and a 1-for-1 rune is still pretty decent of a win. Even if not the double rune win that we saw Wittawili get earlier in the day. And for that matter, Cuban Extracted team get earlier in the day. Again, it is a very important thing to get. Of the 2 teams I mentioned, G1 Cuban Frauds and G1 Wittawili and Chambers, both teams that got the double minute 7 Wisdom Runes ended up winning the game, so it's a good thing to obtain. Silly Snail gets the D-Ward, hook off the mark from Screw, a little bit to the west. In comes Camel, rotating X mark. Into boat will be the option. Torrents now used, but it will end up being a little bit off the mark. Jim has a defensive decrep. And another ward is brought down to the Radiant side. Camel still farming. Scroom is low. Camel stepped on by Seb. Scroom is dead. The table B for Logical. So at this point, it is that 1-for-1, but Camel still absolutely massive. He's got Tidebringer. He'll end up hitting it on Jim. Keelan duked it out, but Jim was unable to, and the Radiant Observer Ward is paying dividends. Shackles are there, cancelled by Axmark. Camel will now get stampeded by Roughneck. Tethered by Silly Snow is incredibly low right now. Noah comes in, Camel gets another kill, triple kill for Kunkka. Sev gets a counter kill, bringing down Silly Snail. Andy Benny rotates in, blinking in for Kunkka. Kunkka is silenced, Kunkka so walks away. He's still quite tanky. Now it's Ricky and Void Spear on the run. Screw respawns. It's got spells ready to go, but lacks the backup, won't even fish for a hook. And as a result, our fight is over. Fight recap indicates it was a win for the side of Wittawili, but both teams got something. Both mid laners being the big winners, from what I can tell. Speaking of mid laners, mid lane they're diving for Camel Farmer. Sev has still stepped forward, but again the Aya with the heal keeps Camel alive. Big dive by 4 heroes even. And they did not kill the Kunkka. That would have been a massive kill to get. Kunkka's number 2 in net worth. Sev is 6th in net worth. So to get him that big kill on Kunkka would have been a massive swing, but instead it simply did not happen.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Getting a little more water, of course, because water is good for when you're casting. Commentating, one might say. I got my my water in glass form. I have more water in flask form, and I have an off-brand monster from Aldi's, so I am well hydrated in that sense. For some Dota action, especially when you're solo commentating, hydration is key. You know, when you have a co-commentator, you can fall back on them, give them a bit of the burden, and save a bit of your voice. But when you're solo, you don't really have an option. There's dead air to fight, and you're the only one who can say things, so you gotta say things. Bottom lane, it's big time for a push. There's 4 heroes on Chambers' side. Everybody but Andy Bendy is here. Roughneck TP's in. He'll play in the Vanguard, looking to again zone away the Dire Siegers, and he'll succeed at doing so. The main body of the Dire side retreat entirely. They're now dispersing to other lanes, pushing out these lanes, and perhaps that is the eventual idea. There is you group up, and then when they group, you actually zag. So when they zig, you zag. You now split up and farm. They're trying to get Keelan as level 6 right now. He's not far from the 6, about a quarter of a level on the Shaman, but not quite there yet. Meanwhile, mid lane, 2-man dive from Andy, Bendy, and Sev. The target, no, and again, a bit of miscoordination. Stampede was used as he banished himself on SD, so Stampede was wasted. They will get a counter kill on Andy Bendy, though. A big win there. That's a carry for support trade. And it was a carry versus carry kill there. They move back top lane for Keelan. Keelan will get zapped down by the god himself, Zeus. So double kill for Zeus. Logical, of course, is number 1 in net worth. And unlike Camel, who went for a bit of a throwback, magical-oriented build on his Zeus, Logical, surprise, surprise, will go for a much more modern Zeus build. It's actually not even a mixed Zeus build. You see a number of these mixed Zeus builds with a phylactery and a little bit of magical-based spell damage. Logical is going full magical right-click here. He's not even buying the phylactery. He's just going for the Manta right away, so... Shard Manta will be the point of strength. Before he acquires that, though, Dire smoked up on 3. They want the Io and the Zeus. They're isolated. Keelan TP's into the tower. Hex Shackle on Zeus. Io has relocate on cooldown, and now Logical's life is on cooldown. Io joins his carry in the grave. 2 kills for Chambers, 1 for Sev, 1 for Andy Bendy, and surprise, surprise, you know what time it is. Run it down the top lane, parlay it into Morans. You know, when you start winning, you win more. You drop those Serpent Wards on the Shaman, you secure that T1 top, but despite, again, the bodies and the wards available, Camel Farmer wants to defend. Hook was sidestepped, X-Mark on Scroomlight. Camel will now bow, he's killing the wards. Blade Mail from the Pudge. Pudge will get torn up. I had to sneeze, so very fortunate timing there with a pause from Jim. Had he have not paused, my team fight would have been a little bit disjointed, having to sneeze, but instead the pause was very perfect. So thank you, Jim. On that one, when we resume the game, though, it's almost certainly going to be it's going to almost certainly be a good situation for killing Scroomlight. Scroomlight, I mean, he's got the play of turn and dismember, but it will not save his life. We'll do anyways to delay the death, forcing out a defensive disruption from Noah. But again, with the relocate in by Logical and the Silly Snail, the kill is certainly secure. Now at this point, if you look at where the Radiant heroes are located, this will almost, without a doubt, be a
Radiant's middle tower
wait, what?
is under attack.
I thought he was going to untether Logical, but instead he kept the tether on, bringing Logical back to Fountain to refill mana, giving Logical the option to TP mid instead. A lot of players would have stayed in the top lane to bolster the siege of that top T1 tower. Logical was so confident he was not needed for the siege. He said, you know what? I'll play macroeconomic concepts. I'll play the mid lane. I'll push out this wave. I'll maximize my gold. And again, it's a very bold assertion, but it's a correct one from Logical Dota 2, which, again, anybody who's talked to Dota 2, sorry, talked to Dota 2 with Logical, I should say, should come as no surprise that he does have a strong grasp on that. Looking at the ping situation, the ping is coming down apparently. I believe the 181 ping underscore, I believe that is Jim. I'll try to like check his Steam profile maybe. Seems like the Cuba game has ended, by the way. So I am going to do updates on the other games during this pause. Okay, so updates across the league. Game 2 of Cuban versus Frauds went the way of Frauds. So again, another 1-1 draw. We've seen a lot of 1-1 draws this season. In this case, another one of them. But one series that did not go a 1-1 draw was Blucher versus whatever the Brightside Rusi team are calling themselves. They're tagged up as typical NA, and they got 2-0 beaten by Blucher. A game 2 of Blucher typical NA, we'll call him for now, was a long, drawn-out 52-minute game, and despite being a relatively back-and-forth affair, it went the way of Blucher. Ice Yeti played, his Life Stealer went relatively off, ended up with a Rapier, and that's a big win there for that one. For the Blucher side, the first 2-0 of the season. Over to Eternal Kings Air Power. Skater and company, the Eternal Kings won game number 1. They beat Air Power despite a strong start to the game on back of a Bray Templar Assassin. They were unable to complete the win. They ended up losing that one in relatively late game fashion, a 40-minute game. And again, game 2 of Dads versus Royal Star and game 2 of Air Power Eternal Kings is currently live. So that's our Around the View league. We have. Can we see a series?
Is under attack.
I've also seen 6 series.
Dire's top tower has
Top T1 is dead. Mid, we're seeing a fight break out right now. Andy Bendy's invis looking for the IO. 2-man silence forward. IO will look for another tether play, and he gets it off in time. He's like Neo from the Matrix. Died his hook, died his everything, gets away. Roughneck gets dismembered, taunted, and very low, but not dead yet. Shaman of Keelan is dead. Roughneck's still alive. IO's still alive. Roughneck finally that's the 1-for-1 trade. Scroom is low. Andy Bendy is low. This could be a disaster. Pudge to fall. Ricky will attempt an angle out of this one, but there's no way out but 6 feet under. 3 dead for Chambers of Nova. And again, the Chambers of Nova chose that fight. They went aggressively between the towers, and when you orient your fight in that way, there's a lot of spots to TP into. Tier 2 tower, Tier 1 tower, even that outpost area. We saw it there. It's a overwhelming response, resulting in a team fight win again for Wittawili.
under attack.
Can I not count to 6? 1, 2, 3. What did I miss? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's, yeah, it's 3 over series. 2 of them went 1-1. One of them went 2-0, being Blucher 2-0 win. And there are 3 series currently on. Of course, all of them 1-1 because, or sorry, 1-0 because they're all in game number 2. That's our around the league updates right there. More water. So we were being updated. Apparently the rapier was from Stanny of Typical NA, lost to Yeti, so perhaps that was the late game swing in question there. In game 2 of Typical NA Blucher. Mid lane, we see a ward dropped by Keelan. Top lane, Camel and Noah combined to bring down the Riki again. Riki is a lot of things, but durable certainly is not one of them. And if you can pin him down, and sure he cannot use his spells to be evasive, then he's a very easy get. He's got 1k HP, and Kunkka is very easily able to do that. SD on top makes it that much easier, and again, Kunkka, he unleashed the full arsenal. Everything was used. They brought down Riki, and there is something brewing in that the mid lane right now, but it seems like Roughneck will simply get away. It'll be a T1 taken by the side of Chambers, that T1 mid. That'll be their second tower taken in the game, and again, the network situation is relatively good for Wittawili, but not definitive yet. Relocate comes in, Camel TPs in, they want to defend. It will be a 4v3 fight. They go to Scroomlight will end up dying, and the tower is secured by Keelan, so it's a core for tower trade. But across the map, 2 kills for 1 tower. Bot lane, logical return thanks to Relocate. Sev and Keelan were both there. Jim as well. They want the Zeus. Zeus is so low. The body blocks! The body blocks! Step forward by Sev. He still wants the kill. He's pick-pulling forward. He wants logical, but in comes Roughneck with the hoof stomp. In comes the ulti. Sev is so low right now. They'll bring down the IO. Hex is there from Keelan to find a Roughneck, but in comes more help. Camel is there. He's got spells, but does not fully initiate. And it's a fight win. Kind of. They killed something at the very least. They killed the IO. They wanted the Zeus. And look at the consolation prize of the IO. Let's open our good friend the graph. Much like in chess, when you don't know what's going on, you go to the computer evaluation and you see what the computer says. Computer says Radiant in the lead. Of course, they're up by about 4k gold, decent bit of experience as well. And the Dota Plus AI gives a 65% chance, about a 2 in 3, for the Radiant side to win. But of course, a 2 in 3 comeback is relatively routine in Dota, especially in this patch. So we shall see what happens there. Big objective to look at will be Roshan. Neither team is that great at it, but if either team gets it, it will be a fantastic get. Perhaps it will require a team fight win first. For those who do not know, gym teams have a notoriously high focus on Roshan. Jim, of course, with his pro Dota experience, emphasizes it. Blink Hoof Stomp that comes in from Roughneck, finding Jim's Pugna. Pugna certainly will die. Boat stuns on 2. Shaman to fall. They'll move to Scroomlight. Buyback from Pugna. They know the importance of the fight. Remnant misses. Logical goes forward. They'll bring down the Pudge. Double kill for Roughneck. They'll have the Jim. Jim's gonna die. The dive on the Pugna. It's a 4-kill win for Wittawili. And they'll head to Andy Bentley. They got him with the dust. How do you possibly get out? He blinks to Sev, but it's diving time. X mark. Torrent. The damage is just too much. 5 kills for Wittawili. Nothing in exchange but cooldowns. Chambers of Nova have lost perhaps the definitive team fight of the game. Look at those lines. They skyrockets. Gold lead, XP lead, win probability lead. They're spiking. If you're a Wittawili fan, you are popping off in your chair like, yeah, my boys are winning. But if you are a Chambers of Nova fan, and I know there are many of them, you're sitting there, perhaps a little bit dejected, asking, what can you do? if you're curious, add one to the what can you do counter. I was casting a Filski earlier in the season, and I asked Filski over under on a number of times. I say, what can you do on the mic this season? I believe I set the number at like 550 or 650, which at its face seems utterly and completely absurd, but I cast a lot of games and I say what can you do a lot on the microphone, so it's certainly in the cards. Little more water. Bottom lane, kill is brewing. Sev gets torrented immediately. And it's a little bit too much chain stun. Logical secures the kill with Thunder God's Wrath. As that happens, it gives him vision in the mid lane. Dire jump in, looking for Zeus, but Zeus is holding his ground right now. Stampede from Roughneck. Jim is dead. It's already 2 down. Shaman and Ricky will both join them. Triple kill for Logical. 1 kill for Camel Farmer. That is 4 kills for Wittawili. Again, this game is not over yet, but it's looking a little bit over. The momentum is utterly and completely massive in favor of the side of Wittawili. Again, the one thing that is going in favor of Chambers of Nova is that the building push is not great. They're rocking a Zeus, Kunkka, Centaur Tricore. Not the greatest building hitters in the world, but when you're ahead by this much, you can run the sweep. For those who don't know, if you're running the sweep, you're just playing the map. You're running from sort of northwest to southeast, hunting across the map, killing heroes over and over and over again. By doing that, not only do you farm the map, but you prevent the opponent from farming the map, because either they're farming suboptimally, or they're dying, as you see Stroomer's doing top lane right now. And again, if your Stroomer's a catch-22, you farm like this and you die, or you don't farm, and because you don't farm, you die later. So it takes some very good map pushing play. And again, these Jim Andy teams are notoriously good at doing so, but it's still going to be tough in these heroes to push the map like that. Sev gets found by Camel Farmer. X Mark will get dodged by Dissimulate. Step forward by Sev. As that happens, the remainder of Wittawili jump Jim in the backlines. Pugna goes down. Camel Farmer is just fighting and destroying the Sev. That's 2 more kills. A double kill for Logical. He is beyond godlike, 16-2 on the Zeus right now. And again, the sweep continues, and they're going to run back southeast towards Shaman and Pudge. Shaman and Pudge will attempt to kill Logical, but I don't know if they have the damage. The wards were not dropped by Keelan. I'm not even sure if they would have gotten the kill anyways. Keelan is dead. Logical's completely fine. Ricky arrives. I was disrupted defensively by Noah. And in comes Camel Farmer with a perfect 2-man torrent. Alti is unleashed by Logical. 3 more kills for Wittawili, and 1 more blink forward by Roughneck finds the Pugna of Jim. X Mark, Torrent. Damage is just too much. We are up to 18 kills for Logical. They'll die for Keelan. Sev is there trying to do what he can, doing damage to multiple targets. Keelan certainly will end up dying. The question is, can Sev do anything in return? He's got no spells, so the answer seemingly is no. That's a dieback from Keelan. He did buyback on the Shaman. TP of Logical was cancelled thanks to the Remnant from Sev. Sev gets saved by Scroomlights. Not quite sure where that X mark was from Camel. So it was used defensively to acquire some more mana from the fountain. Again, a general sort of barometer, sort of bellwether measurement you're looking for is a 1k net worth per minute lead. If one team is up by more thousands of gold than there are minutes in the game that have elapsed, the game is usually just outright over in most scenarios. It's a 24-minute game, a 20,000 net worth lead for Wittawili, so they are flirting with that 1k net worth lead per minute margin. And again, it's not impossible, but it's going to require both theatrics and miracles for Chambers of Nova to win this one. They are going to play it on, of course, but Again, look at the net worth on Logical. Look at the net worth. Look at the number. He's doubling the net worth. Doubling the net worth of any of these dire side heroes. I was comparing the carries last game. Around this time in the game, Logical was sitting at about 14,000 net worth. Andy Bendy at about 11.5k. 2.5k is about half an item lead. It's pretty good, but this game, he's got 20k net worth on Logical versus 8k net worth on Andy Bendy. That's at least 2 items of difference, if not 3 items of difference. It's so hard to play that far behind. This is a gargantuan lead. And again, if you're Chambers of Nova, it's back to the drawing board perhaps going into the next series, because this one simply did not work in their favor, and now Andy Bendy is just dead. He's still trying to farm that Manta, but with the global Zeus combo and the follow-up from short range, it's one more kill for Wittawili, and this plane is going down right now for Chambers of Nova. At this point, if you're Wittawili, you're just trying to see if you get a purple or not. You already know you've got the clear here. Roshan, surprise, surprise, is under attack. It's our third Roshan of the game by my... Correction. Third Roshan of the series by my count. First of the game, obviously. Taken by the side of Wittawili, and surprise, surprise, second life will go the way of Logical. In come the TP's bottom lane looking for stragglers. They were shoving in bottom lane on Keelan and Sev, and now it is time for them to perhaps die. Hex from Keelan. Jim plays to the southwest. Shackles on Centaur, but this is an impossible fight. Well, Lu Shaman, Void Spirit will attempt the juke. He goes to the south, stepping. Roughneck is there, but lacked the TP cancel as it was on cooldown. Kunkka, either at his spells on cooldown or was out of range as well, was unable to cancel that TP, so a good escape there by Sev. Over the top lane, Ricky is going to attempt to run away, but he's under a Radiant Sentry. The dust was hit as well, so again, you've got the dust, you've got the Sentry, you need to do some fantastic jukes here, and they simply were not possible. Back to the bottom lane, it's Roughneck in a one-on-one versus Jim. Jim is casting everything. Nimbus comes in from Logical. Blink hoofs down from Roughneck. He ends up missing on the Gossamer Cape, but it matters not. One more kill for Roughneck, his 4th of the game. He's 4, 1, and 17. A fantastic stat line there. For the top lane, Sev goes for a very bold step forward with his Mage Slayer and his Aghanim Scepter, but again, keen observers would note that Sev now lacks spells, and as a result, he's simply dead. When you go all in like that in the Void Spirit, you simply die sometimes. I don't blame him for making that play. He knows the game state is bad, and he wanted to go for a winning play, simply rather than letting Radiance win the death by 1,000 cuts. But again, it's high ground time. Scroom has hook. Hits it on Logical, but Logical's got 2 lives. He pops the Manta. Torrent on Ricky. Ricky's half HP. He'll dodge the bolts, but it's Nimbus and X marked anyway. Back into the Nimbus and back into the grave. He's dead for 45. Roughneck's tanking a lot of damage. Torrent on Shaman. Shaman's being stunned. 2-man hoof stomp from Roughneck. Hook into the fountain, but he's saved by Noah. Triple kill for Logical. Roughneck gets to lay with the Glimmer Cape, and again, despite hooking him into the fountain, there's just too much save there. 3 more kills, all for the carry Zeus. He's 24 kills right now. 24 for Logical. Another hook, but he still has 2 lives. What do you possibly do? Bloodthorn from Logical. 1 more kill, and the GG is called. They'll head to Scroom Lights. It will perhaps live thanks to the offensive banishment. He got... Jim celebrating that he got the win lace from Logical. Logical tried to get his win lace on his own courier, but regardless, the game will be a win. Therefore, the series will be a definitive 2-0 in favor of Wittawili, utterly and completely smashing Chambers of Nova, especially in that second game where it was a very definitive stomp down. So, again, despite Logical's complaints that his team got nerfed MMR-wise, he's certainly looking very good in his first series with his new team. running it back with Camel Farmer and pairing with many of his teammates from Lads Plus to utterly and completely demolish the chambers of Nova.